Hey everyone, this is a preview of our first ever movie time, similar to our overtime episodes, but we talk about a labor film. In this one, we go over Matewan and Cradle Will Rock. If you want the full thing, you can become a patron at patreon.com/workstoppage and give us $5 a month, and you unlock all of those episodes plus all of our other content. If you can't afford to become a patron, jump in the Discord server and message one of the admins. We'd be happy to hook you up with it. As always, solidarity forever.
And there's a very telling scene towards the relative beginning. It's a fairly long film where I think one of the union fellows says something like, well, I used to be a wobbly. And then the other older guy's like, I did too, back when it meant something.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. One of the things, I think that's actually the character who plays C.E. Lively, who's the spy, who I think it's very funny that they got the guy who plays him is also the guy who plays the warden in Shawshank Redemption. The actor's name is Bob Gunton. And it's funny because I had forgotten about the spy plot line when I went and rewatched the movie. And I was like, boy, it's kind of weird that they cast this character actor known for playing scumbags as like a big union organizer. That's weird. And then it keeps going. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that's revealed when the company, so initially the workers were going to attack the mines, right? What was the specific thing that they were going to, I guess, make sure that they were going to hold their strike. But then the company ends up flanking them from the back because C.E. Lively, the character, has informed the company that attack is happening. And then, I think there's one worker death in that, and it really, really stokes the what happens later in the film with the actual massacre.
Yeah, well, and C.E. Lively was a real guy. That guy actually existed.
Yeah, and unfortunately lived out the rest of his life and, died of old age. But, I actually think that's one of the things, because I will say, I love this movie. We all love this movie. It's not necessarily, in a lot of ways, a movie with a ton of nuance. Like, the bad guy characters are oftentimes somewhat cartoonishly bad, which is fine. I mean, a lot
like when they get off the train and harass, what's her name?
Well, it's true to life. Real life bad guys are actually cartoonishly bad. Like I've often said, Mr. Burns does not go far enough as a caricature.
No, I mean, it's true. But one of the things I did appreciate is its portrayal of like how an agent provocateur works. Because I think a lot of folks, like when you first learn what that concept is, you think it's just like the guy who shows up at one meeting and is like, yo, why aren't we just doing guns? Like, why aren't we just shooting everybody like from day one? And this shows like the much more insidious way that it can work, where you just like, you embed yourself, you do what seems like useful stuff for the union, but you're always pushing for like what is maybe a bit more aggressive than makes sense for this time period. And then the way that he tries to cover for himself by cop jacketing Joe, I'm just like, this is how infiltration works. Like, it's a really good like illustration of that exact process.
Yeah, the only thing you would have to update to be able to identify that kind of person today is you also need to watch out for turns of phrase such as, debate me, bro, why won't you debate me?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. One of the things I also really appreciated, and this is one of the more historical angles, because while this sort of thing kind of exists today, it tends to be a bit more detached and harder to illustrate. But was when they're bringing the black miners in and they're getting them set up, there's a period where they're like walking them through the company office and they're just going down the line of all the things they're going to get charged for. They're like, yep, so we were gracious enough to advance you the train ride here. Well, it'll be coming out of your pay. And it's like, tools, you can pick those up at the tool crib. Again, we were so nice, we'll advance you the cost for a month. Then it's coming out of your paycheck. And it's just like tool sharpening, $1 a month, doctor, $2 a month, special procedures extra, lodging, like $2 a month. So it's showing like all this stuff where like all the stuff that again is like, it's not theirs. They don't keep the tools. Like the tools are only for working in the mine, but they have to pay for it to the point where you're nickel and dimed until you don't have anything. Like you're essentially working for free.
Well, and it's all issued in company script, and they
Right.
repeat several times that if you are caught buying anything not with company script outside of the company store, you will be in trouble and your pay will be revoked or you'll be fired without pay. And then you see at many of the local businesses, as you kind of are gradually shown the town, they all have signs in the window that say, "We accept company script," and often it will say something like 50 cents to $1 under it, because there's literally an exchange rate for script in the town.
You can tell 'em in the country, tell 'em in the town. The miners down in Mingo laid their shovels down. We won't pull another pillow, load another ton, or lift another finger till the union we have won. Stand up, boys, let the bosses know. Turn your buckets over, turn your lanterns low. There's fire in our hearts and fire in our soul, but there ain't gonna be no fire in the hole. Daddy died a miner, Grandpa he did too. I'll bet this coal will kill me before my working days is through. In a hole that's dark and dirty, an early grave confined. I plan to make a union for the ones I leave behind. Stand up, boys, let the bosses know. Turn your buckets over.